I mean, I think as far as the impact on customer costs as related to Gen AI, um, I think it's early to say, right? I do feel like generative AI integrated in a lot of our products is going to provide lots of opportunity for optimization, um, right? Instead of you trying to figure out yourself where those optimization opportunities are, right? You got generative AI running in the background and surfacing those insights and those suggestions and recommendations to you in a more active way. So I definitely feel like it's going to have a positive impact in that way. Um, I suppose on the other side of that coin, it kind of just depends. I feel like maybe initially, right, you'll see kind of some increases. Customers are doing experimentation and trying kind of new things. But that's where you got to have good governance, right? And continue to have a strategy on how you want to assess and integrate AI into kind of your larger organization to make sure that you're doing it in a cost-effective way. So I definitely think it's something that, while providing uh, a lot of value, is something that you're going to have to actively manage to, make sure that it doesn't get out of control.
On the one hand, AI is going to give more insight, but on the other hand, it itself incurs a cost. And especially in these early days where we're experimenting, want to make sure that that cost is governed and controlled.
Exactly, right. Like, I mean, I come out of the government space, out of the DoD intelligence space, and ROI and TCO are things that we always talk about, right? And so making sure that you understand the kind of total cost of ownership when you are kind of looking to think about a Gen AI use case, and is it going to return sufficient value to you to warrant the investment that you made. Now, in a lot of these cases, I think if done effectively, AWS, of course, has lots of different programs and services to help facilitate that. But if done, appropriately and with the right strategic approach, then I think I'm very excited about the value that Gen AI is going to provide to our customers in the coming years.
So what do you think is going to be the biggest win in terms of Gen AI helping people save on their AWS costs?
I definitely think probably kind of going back to the kind of like um, the active insight, like real time insights about opportunities, and then right, the killer app is the ability to then take action on that thing. Right, so it's like, hey, we've been looking at your usage patterns, and this instance type might be better, or you know what, you could really go from a 4x to a 2x here. Would you like me to do that for you? Right. So I think like that's the kind of real power is, again, I think I talked about this I use this kind of metaphor or this saying in a previous episode, but right, like with data, right, it's like drowning in data, starved for information, right? There's so much noise, right? So, the more that you mature in your cloud journey, right, there's all these different services, all right, there's all these different kind of capabilities. And after a while at scale, especially for larger customers, but smaller customers see it in their own scale as well. It's just, how do you know what to pay attention to? How do you determine what warrants your attention and effort? And I feel like that is one of those other places where Gen AI is going to continue to provide value, is helping customers determine what is worth their time from an optimization perspective, right? Because I have conversations about Spot and Graviton, right? And one of the major questions that customers always want to try to understand is like, what's my return on this investment, right? If I take the time to optimize for Spot, if I take the time to update my infrastructure to support Graviton, what's the return on that? So I think Gen AI is really going to accelerate that cycle, right, of trying to determine like what's the potential value, and then ideally help customers take action and make the right decisions faster.
Got it. All right, I like that. So taking the giant mess that is the entirety of our AWS organization account and distilling it down into here's a potential action, and then the killer app being how do we actually make that action happen?
Exactly, right. Like I'm a huge fan, right? A huge fan. Former product manager coming out of me, right? But I'm really big on things that reduce friction for customers, right? And I think Gen AI, one of the major promises of Gen AI is the ability to significantly reduce friction in a lot of these places where there are things that are going to be value added for customers, but they just got to stack them into kind of the larger list of things they got to go do, right? So now if you can do these things in a dynamic and automated fashion on a recurring basis, then I feel like it'll help customers get into and stay in, a much better posture.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you. That was really great.